Cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you for this.
You're
Very
welcome.
thoughtful.
I heard it's your favorite flavor.
You nailed it. Bluephoria. I like the mint one too.
Oh, Enlightenment?
Enlightenment.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it's very good.
That's sick too. And if you couldn't notice, we're sitting here chilling. And I want to know, how has the tour been?
The tour has been incredible. Incredible in every sense of the word. Inspiring, affirming. Quarantine was kind of crazy, and you started to go a little crazy when all you're doing is creating and not having the outlet to connect. And the other side of it, where you're with fans singing songs together, like at some point is the music even out there? Do people know that we're creating all this music? And then to go on this run and to have people literally be singing every single word with me, just kind of put everything into perspective, said you're doing the right thing, you are operating inside of your calling, you're doing what you were made to do, and it's been incredible.
That's great. And you've been opening up for Marc E, Bassy.
Yeah.
And do you think he's a little intimidated, getting an opener who's a platinum artist?
By me?
Yeah.
No, I think it's been a perfect fit. Marc is incredible, and we're 17 cities in now, so we're all kind of one big family, and it's been a really, really good thing. I mean, he has been inspiring to me, the way he's organized his show, to say, man, what can I take from it if I'm thinking in towards leaning forward, and he's come out a couple times and said, like, dude, I'm inspired by watching your energy right now. So I think it's been a really good thing, kind of a iron sharpening iron thing, where we've just kept each other in it and moved through these cities just full of energy and trying to bring the best show collectively as we can. Yeah, it's been good.
And you've been doing this for a while, and I know before, I think I actually might have seen you, because I know you came a few years ago. You were opening up for Alex and Sierra, right?
Oh yeah. Wow. Yeah, that was my first tour ever. And I remember my setup was just like a keyboard, a little SPDSX, just playing drums and triggering things all myself with a little looper pedal. And yeah, that was a minute ago. That was a fun little very first take. We didn't even have any music released then. That was like before John K even really existed.
Before, when he was still Johnny?
Yeah.
That's cool. And how does it feel to have a rapper turn into your manager?
He would say, best rapper in Orlando, or is it bigger than that?
A little bit. Go on.
He used to be best rapper alive. Now I think it's Orlando.
Yeah, he's a phenomenal freestyler. He keeps me on my toes. I mean, he's so much more than a manager. Rob is the co-founder, co-creator, writer on a lot of this stuff. So manager's just the hat that he had to wear. But it's so much more than that. we're a family.
Speaking so much more of that too, you're more than a musician, you're also a father.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
what's it like juggling all this, because you've been on tour for the past 2 months. It must be hard leaving your kid and your wife alone.
Yeah, it is hard. It was scarier before we left. So I feel like even with having a baby, like when my wife was pregnant, it was scarier because we were like, oh, what is it going to look like? How am I going to juggle this? But as you walk through it and just do it, it's not nearly as bad as you are afraid it's going to be. And that's been the same thing with this tour. It was inside quarantine, we've all just been so tight. I've been able to be home every day, and we both kind of got used to that. So going into the tour, it was scary, but the day that we left on basically, if I'm going to be away from my wife and my son, I am going to crush it every night. I'm going to be efficient. I'm going to be effective. I'm going to be up early. I'm going to be at the gym. I'm going to be connected with them. And I've been able to carry that through the entire tour, stay very connected with my wife and with my son, and stay inspired and stay healthy, rather than let the road or the tour or the nightlife get on top of you. We've been really fighting against it to say, where can we work out today? Like, where can we eat healthy on the road? Like what? And that's helped us really keep a nice sense of clarity, and it's helped us grow tighter and tighter and have these shows come out better and better as we grow throughout the tour, rather than we're on the last stop, and I feel like I have more energy than when I started.
Wow.
Rather than being like, oh God, I think it's the last stop, I'm so happy. It's been more like, let's go get it tonight. So I'm very, very blessed to have an incredible wife, and it's been good.
Who's the godfather of your son?
The godfather of my son is my wife's brother.
Wife's brother.
Yeah, Jesse and Tori. And Desi.
So what do you think are like the qualifications to be a godfather? Say if you have another kid. Like what do I need to get qualified for that?
I would say somebody that I know is going to be a good example for him, somebody that is going to lead him spiritually, and somebody that he could always look up to at any moment throughout his life and say, you know, I don't know what to do right now in my life, but if I called you,
Yes.
I would know exactly what to do. You'd give good advice. So.
Thank you. I can
Are you
tell.
applying? Would you like to?
I'm trying to get my hat in there.
In the
you know?
running?
I'm trying to
All right.
leapfrog Rob.
Let's workshop it a little bit. We'll see where we end up. You got a chance. I'm not saying
Thank
it's out
you.
of the
I'm
question.
trying to be friends with you.
I mean, you started on the right. You got a year, but it's possible.
Thank you. Thank you.
Not very likely, but it's possible.
I mean, I'm not saying it's all in my odds, but I'm saying, you know, at least give me a shot.
All right.
You know, give me a chance. Give me a chance. But, you know, I don't know if we got to cut this or not, but, you know, I guess you did start your career just being on American Idol.
Yeah.
And was it your grandma or
Yep.
was it your friend that inspired you?
My grandmother. I was visiting in Southern Illinois, and
I know you had a friend named, what was his name? Andrew, too.
Oh yeah, Andrew. Wow, that's a deep dive. Yeah, my buddy Andrew. He always loved. We used to always sing together in high school and stuff. And I remember he always wanted me to sing. He saw something like maybe way before anybody else did, but it was really my grandmother when I was visiting inspired me to go. Basically forced me to go, and I was like, I'd never auditioned for anything. That's kind of our whole story. Is basically I auditioned, I made it to wherever I made it, I got cut. I didn't know exactly what to do, but I had met friends that inspired me to go to Nashville, and Rob used to watch the show with his mom, and Rob hired me to go sing at his wedding. And I was hiding in the
Was that like
in
a
the
wedding
ballroom.
gift, or did he actually pay you?
He paid me. He
Oh,
paid me
wow.
well. Yeah, he paid me well to come down. I was like, yeah, this guy, you know, I'm just going to charge him a lot of money. And I bought a suit and I came down. And no, we just always stayed in touch. And he was always like, you know, if you wrote songs as good as your voice is, you would be just fine. And he always followed up. He always stayed in touch. And I used to come down and we would write songs together and go find a local studio and just play around. And I met a girl at that wedding who was his wife's best friend.
Oh, wow.
And I ended up marrying her. And then we started the project. Well, we started the project manager. So if I don't go to that wedding, my life is totally different.
That's
and
crazy.
then I was talking about that whole story, and we wrote a song called If We Never Met. And that song, obviously, you know, is the one that took off. And so it's a really cool story that not a lot of people know.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, I didn't know. That's crazy how it's your biggest song, and I feel like that song probably means like the most to you.
It does. It's a
that
beautiful
pretty much
thing.
changed your life.
I couldn't ask for it to unfold any better because I wrote a song directly about my story, and people like turn it into their story, and they connect to it, and they're like, I have that person too, that person that changed my life for the better, or my spouse, or you know, that coach that just changed, and if I never met that person, I wouldn't be who I am today. You know, I think we all have that.
Yeah.
Someone.
Hey, today's interview is sponsored by 24 Frames Entertainment. If you want a shirt like this, which is pretty sick in this color, but there's multiple other colors too, or you want to see what more they're about, you could just go on 24framesentertainment.com and find this shirt, many more, and learn more about them, you know? Let's talk about your family more for a little bit. I heard you're like the oldest of like, what, 15 siblings or something? What's that like? Are you guys are they all musically talented too?
You know what? It's been really cool to see. So yeah, I have 11 brothers and sisters.
Insane.
And Christian and Noah, they're 17 and 19, and they're getting to the age where they're actually really dope. And they send me music all the time, and I'm like, yo, this is really, really good. Let's develop it. So I'm watching them, you know, they're picking up the guitar on their own, they're playing, they're producing, they're sending me stuff, they're singing. I'm like, where'd you guys get all this? And they're like, well, we're just watching you, and we just like want to do it. But they kind of developed it on their own. I didn't push it on any of them, or, you know, make them do vocal lessons or do it like this. Like, they just send me stuff, and I'm blown away. So there's definitely creativity in the family, and they all sing a little bit. Like, they'll sing in church, and they'll play in church, and then they'll send me songs that they write, and I'm like, this is actually really good. Like, I might have to cut this. Like, let's send me the stems. Like, this is dope. So it's really cool to see the music kind of trickle down into the family. But yeah.
Dang, such a talented family. And I think you've written songs with like your grandma and your mom before too, right?
Yes. My mom is an incredible writer, and she always wants to write worship music. So whenever I remember I was visiting them in Nashville, and we just went down in the basement. I brought my keyboard, we set up, and we wrote this beautiful song where she was just pulling from, she was just supplying me with words, and I was just basically throwing melody to them, and it was kind of cool. And then my grandmother has always instilled in me, she basically taught me my first way around the piano at a young age, and would always just check up on me in like musical terms, like, did you play your piano? Are you playing your piano? Like, you can't let it slip. And always just was singing, and just music was very alive in her. She's a painter as well, very artistic. And her father, who I'm directly named after, John, used to play trumpet with like Louis Armstrong after I was in gig in New York City back in the day. So I was directly named after him right after he passed, and it's kind of like I carried on his musical legacy of like doing it publicly and getting out there. And like, he was an amazing trumpet player, and I actually have his original trumpet like in a glass case in my studio at home.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
And what artists, bands, inspired you? Like, what did you listen to growing up?
I listen to, I think about big influential records, like songs about Jane. We got some Backstreet Boys in there. I got anywhere from pop, and then I used to deep dive vocally. I used to try to emulate like Otis Redding and Sam Cooke and Donny Hathaway and Bill Withers, and I went through a Gavin DeGraw thing where I was like, let me just learn this stuff. Like, I love to learn the riffs and the runs, and that's how I kind of developed my own ability to control and find my way through a vocal. But I grew up also huge Beatles fan. My dad was always playing Eagles, a lot of classics, and then we'd go on the boat all the time because I grew up in Florida. Yeah. So it was like Bob Marley and like Red Wine and all these like classic boat songs. And so it was just anything and everything. And then growing up now, we just consume music so regularly, not only to stay current and see what our contemporaries are doing, but also just as pure lovers and fans of music, just diving in and pulling inspiration from anybody and everybody, Ed to Dominic Fike to anybody that's doing it. We're just like, yo, that's fire. We got to like figure out how we can work that into our stuff. So it's just pulling, and all music is pulling from something, right?
Yeah, I agree. And just this whole interview, I've been loving your vibe.
Thanks, dude. And
I'm just wondering, how you feel like we're friends yet?
Yeah, I mean, you climbed a couple ranks in the Godfather, conversation. Yeah. You got some room to go, but yeah, it's been good. It's good. I like the vibe. I like the cars, Crocs.
Yeah, they light up too.
Well, wow, dude.
Oh,
Can you run fast in them?
No. I wish though. But as a friend, I love giving gifts to other friends. So I actually have some gifts for you too.
Oh wow, dude. This is getting better and better. That's why you asked about the where you're ranking right now, because you're about to go up.
I'm trying to get up more ranks.
All right. Well, I might have to introduce you to my son, or his
please.
Sibling if I have one.
First things first, some Beatles.
Nice, bro. Dang, this is a dope one too.
That's a dope one.
What do we got on here?
That's some oldies,
Everyone's trying to be my baby, yeah. Oh wow, my wife is gonna flip out when she sees this.
Oh, yeah, she's a big Beatles fan too, right?
She really made me deep dive into like the discography. Like, I was a Beatles fan, but more of like the hybrid surface level, not the deep cut. And every road trip, I remember when we would drive up to New York, we would go deep. Old Brown Shoe, like all these. What year is this?
I think it's supposed to be 65, I think.
Yeah, 65. This is sick. Dude, thank you, man.
Glad you like it. But
all right.
That's just the first.
Wow.
There's more.
Okay, I don't know.
And this one I think you're a bigger fan of, and it's Bob Marley. This is a classic, all the hits.
Boat music. Is this love? Yeah. Dang, I wish I would have brought my my vinyl player on this trip, dude. We could have played it in the van. I guess we're almost done though.
Yeah, I mean, you know, back home.
This is sick, man. I appreciate this.
Welcome. Last but not least, you didn't mention this one, but I figured you'd be a fan. It's John Mayer.
Oh yeah. You know, I didn't want to get. I say it in him in every other interview. I'm like, you know, it's obvious. Everybody said incredible record. This is one of my. I think this is my favorite one. Of it, and this live record is insane.
It's great.
Neon live, crazy. This is an incredible record, and I don't have any of these actually.
Thank God.
Yeah,
that's great.
so this is a
All new.
welcome addition, man. Thank you so much. It's too
Hopefully
much.
you have room in your carry-on.
I do. I got you. Dude, thank you so much, man.
I'm glad
That's
you
really
appreciate it,
special.
yeah.
That's awesome.
And you did mention my shirt earlier too. Didn't you write a song for like one of them?
Yeah, it was this one right
Oh
here.
wow, you could even identify. Wow.
Yeah.
What
We
was
did
that like?
I did a demo in LA and I didn't think anything of it. We kind of knew we weren't going to use it for anything, and then I get a call that who was it, AJ? AJ was working with the same producer, and he had just happened to play him that demo, and not only was he blown away by it, but he immediately loved it so much he wanted to cut it and release it like ASAP as his like lead single to releasing music again. And he just like nonchalantly texted me that. I was like, oh, that's pretty good. It's dope. I never really thought I'd be a writer for a Backstreet Boy, but yeah, it was a cool thing. Just kind of happened.
Okay. Since I feel like we've become better friends now,
okay.
I got a question for you.
Okay.
And I want to know.
Let's break it down.
I'm going to ask you this, okay? What do you think is my least and most attractive quality about me? I'll give you an example. I think for me, the best quality about me, my smile. I think it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Then my least would probably be my personality.
Wow, that's very self-deprecating. I think you should cut yourself some
Thank
more.
You got one for
Some
me?
more slack.
Yeah.
I think you have a great personality.
Okay. We
I
say that's
think-
the best?
I think your vibe, your appearance, it's very warm, and I think that is something to kind of cherish in yourself. I think that's really cool because I think your best quality is your cadencing is strong. You know, I do a lot of interviews, and you can pick up on, all right, am I leading this? Am I being led? Like, how's the flow has been good. So
Appreciate that.
I don't know. I don't like to get negative. You got a great vibe, dude. Look at this outfit. Like,
Thank you for gassing me up.
Yeah, it's fire,
Appreciate
bro.
it.
I got nothing negative to say about you.
That's cool.
I'll work on it.
Yeah. I'll workshop that here. Real quick though, I want to show you a vid. Hopefully it pulls up. Where is it? It's okay. We're gonna cut this out in post.
It's all good. I'm all
Oh, here it
fired
is.
up for sound check.
All right. So,
Wow.
pretty sure this is you. And I just want to know, how does it feel to be performing in malls, to like performing at concert venues like this?
Covers in malls. Is that still out there? Is that on YouTube? We'll get that removed. So from performing Jason Mraz covers in malls to now, yeah, it's seems like that seems like another life ago. You know, we always talk about that, like how we've lived multiple pockets of different lives, and it's hard to even go back there. But I know that was a huge part of who I am today, because I was just every single day sitting on the piano by myself and just throwing my voice at things and throwing my voice around, and now I have so much confidence and control in what I can do with my vocal that I look back at that time as like just the brick by brick kind of 10,000 hours foundation of me figuring out what I can and can't do as a vocalist. And it's a really special time. You know, it was a little unanchored and weird and not exactly knowing what I wanted to do, of course, but everybody has that time.
Yeah.
And I knew I liked to sing music that I like to sing, and I loved to throw my voice around, and I was never afraid of any audition or any crowd. I found just like this kind of chip on my shoulder attitude, like I can impress these people. Watch, I can do this, even if it was through a cover. And so to go ahead and figure out what it means to write an original, to kind of fight through years and years and years of figuring out, you know, what it is I want to do or say or how to write. it means a lot to then kind of come out in front of these crowds and lay it down, because I know I can sing live because I've done it for so long. But to do it with originals and to have them sing it back to me is a truly incredible experience.
Oh, that's incredible.
Yeah.
All right, let me give you another incredible question. And let's do this scenario. Let's say it's like a 3-man in a trench coat situation, you know? You got to stack on top of each other.
Yeah.
You, Rob, and let's just throw another random name, like Dante.
Okay.
And let's say, what position would you be?
Oh, in the trench coat?
Yeah. What would you want to be?
You know, I feel like, I feel like it'd be either me or you on the bottom holding it up.
That's the toughest one.
Yeah, that's the toughest one, but that's the one that we would fight over. Because like when it comes
Fighting over to be the legs?
to be the legs, because we each feel like we got to hold this up at times, and there's been times where there's been more weight on Rob, and there's been times where it's been more on me, in the sense like, even with this van, like we're both fighting to drive. We're like, no, we got it, because we're both very hands-on and we want to take control and we want to help. So I think they would try to put me on top to make it easier for me, but I would fight to be lower.
That's a great answer. Thank you. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
You know, thank you for doing this interview.
Dude,
It's
thank
been a
you so
pleasure.
much for having me. This is great.
And you know, this interview all about you.
I think you're in the top 10 of potential next godparent.
Wow, that's big. Thank you.
Yeah,
I'll
top
cheers to
10.
that. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, still not top 5, but you know.
I mean, top 10, I'll take it, you know.
No, thank you for these. Thank you for these gifts. Very, very thoughtful. I can't wait to dive into them. And you know what? We're in the process of finishing the 3rd album, so I will look for some inspiration in these, and I'll let you know what record after we put it out was inspired by this and this interview.
Rob has my info, so you know, your people just call my people, I guess.
Fire, we will.
But you know, this interview is all about you, and you know, as a small gift, an interview. What do you want to plug? You know, your latest music,
Oh yeah.
your socials. What
You
do you
know,
want?
just-
This is gonna be you and the camera.
Just give me a follow at
Be out
John K
here.
Music. Come out to shows. We're going to be doing live shows like crazy. And just get excited about all things John K, because I have an incredible team. My wife believes in me. My baby believes in me. So you should too.